Hello, everyone. We'll be starting here in just a few seconds. Just wait, checking my audio, and then we'll get started right away. And thank you for joining us. We've got a lot of weather changes coming up, and we're going to be talking about those. Okay, I've confirmed my audio is working, so let's go ahead and get right to the presentation. A couple minutes late, technology. So let's go ahead and get started here. Thank you for joining us again. So, quick look at our forecasts for anyone that's short of time. Showers and storms are going to be likely on Sunday. Some heavy rainfall, and there's the potential for a few strong, maybe even a severe storm on Sunday, and I'll get into the details on that in just a moment. High temperatures upper 70s, lows in the lower 60s, and then Monday we're going to see another chance of showers and storms. The odd one could be strong. Highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s, and we're still going to continue with a risk of showers into Tuesday. Highs around 80 degrees, lows in the mid 60s, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday, generally settled conditions return. Highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. So let's go ahead and get right into the details. So first off, severe thunderstorm risk. There is going to be a marginal, which is the lowest level of risk for severe thunderstorms. That includes Flagler County. That also includes, points north and south, not far from the coast though. But that is the lowest level, and that is generally just means that anywhere in this dark area, in this dark area right here, anywhere within there, we could get one or two stronger or severe storms. It doesn't mean that everywhere in this green swath is going to see them. It means that maybe one or two storms are possible in this region during the day tomorrow. So the main concerns are going to be gusts over 60 miles an hour, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall possible, and we're also looking at a low risk of hail. So hail is possible with some of these storms. That is the main concerns with this activity tomorrow. Now, let's move on to Monday. Now, up in Georgia, there's a higher risk on Monday and generally a very low end risk by us. The main concerns 70-mile-per-hour winds, isolated tornadoes, some large hail, and heavy rainfall. But the bulk of that stuff is going to be up here in the yellow area. Now, this possibly could get expanded, so do stay tuned and stay up to date what's going on. But as things stand right now, it looks like the higher risk of that severe weather well off to our north and west. But we're going to be close enough that we could still kind of like the same level of risk on Sunday, though Sunday is going to see the more coverage to be a wider swath of showers and storms on Sunday as opposed to Monday. So Monday is going to be largely a dry day, and around the showers and storms will come through. But again, one or two of those could be strong, possibly severe. So let's talk about rainfall now. This is rainfall amounts through Monday, and we're looking at a good solid 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. And let me tell you, we need this badly. And when I get to the wildfire section of this program, you will see why we need this rainfall. We're going to talk about wildfires here in just a minute because we have an active wildfire going on right now. And we're going to talk about that and the other ones that have been ongoing. So, but we're looking at 1.5 to 2 inches of rain across chiefly the eastern parts of the county, 1 to 1.5 inches elsewhere. So, and again, there could be some locally higher amounts than this. So hopefully all of this comes to fruition. Hopefully the forecast information is correct because we do need this rain badly. And again, we'll get to that bit in just a little bit. Just a reminder, sign up for Alert Flagler. Emergency Management provides this service for free. FlaglerCounty.gov/Alert Flagler. It'll call you if there's a weather warning for your neighborhood or if there's some sort of emergency evacuation in your neighborhood. You will get a phone call about it. So let's talk about our local weather now. What's going to be happening? So warm fronts, not on the map, but a warm front is developing to our south, and that's going to shift off to the north. And as it does, that's going to bring some unsettled weather on Sunday. And then this stronger cold front here, this is going to swing through Monday afternoon with the bulk of the weather going off to the north. But still, we're close enough to have that low risk of a strong storm. And then high pressure will build in to the north as that front stalls off to the south, and there's some signals that front might try to go back north maybe Tuesday, which is why we continue to have that rain chance, and then pulls off to the north of us, giving us some warm weather to round up the end of the week. Now, satellite image here, so you can kind of see where that warm front is developing right here over the southern Florida. And you can see that's right where they've had some showers and thunderstorms. They've actually had some tornadic water spouts down in the Keys. So quite an impressive weather feature with that. And this is all moving to the north. So this will be up our way when we get into tomorrow. So it's been not too bad of a day for us. Rather breezy because of the winds ahead of that warm front developing to our south. And again, you can kind of see the boundary of that. And its southeast wind flows, been pretty fresh out of the southeast, gusting up to 20, 30 miles an hour. So let's get into the forecast details now. So Sunday, it's going to be rather wet and unsettled. So showers, rain, storms off and on. There could be some breaks in the middle of it. There could be some sunny spells. There could be some dry spells. Then there could be some solid spells of rain. Again, the Weather Service is pretty confident on that 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. So we could get a fair amount of rain tomorrow. High temperatures near 78. Now, if the sun gets out a little bit more than expected, we could see a high maybe better than that. Low temperatures overnight down in the 60s. Now, Monday, chance showers and storms. The odd storm could be strong. Sunshine mixed. High temperatures mid-80s. Look at that. Temperatures bottoming out in the 60s. After that cold front goes by and pushes that line of showers and storms through here. And many times with systems like this, the showers and storms will weaken as they approach. So right now, Sunday's going to be the better chance of getting a stronger storm, just in my personal opinion. I'm not a meteorologist, but just in my personal opinion, because we're just going to have a wider coverage of showers and storms tomorrow. Now, Tuesday, we're still going to continue with a chance of showers, sunny spells and cloud, high temperature peaking near 80 degrees, low temperature near 64. Wednesday, Thursday, things look to round up really well. Highs in the 70s near 80. Now, I've seen some signals that these temperatures might be quite a bit higher than this. So we may actually get near 90 towards the end of the week. We'll have to see how that plays out. So this is the official National Weather Service guidance right now. But we'll be back Wednesday night with an update. So we'll let you all know what's going on with that. Temperatures bottoming out in the 60s each day, but generally drying out, trending towards the end of the week. Now, going into the longer range forecast now, this takes us from April 4th until April 6th. And we can expect above normal temperatures, significantly above normal temperatures in that time frame, and maybe near normal to above normal precipitation. Now, as we go into the longer range, now this is telling us there might be some other weather system in the works here. So we're looking at above normal precipitation over our area and maybe near normal to slightly above normal on our temperatures. This gets us into the middle part of April. Now, going into the long range, this takes us all the way almost to the end of April. So we're going to average out above normal on our temperatures and below normal on our precipitation in that longer time frame. So let's talk about wildfires here. So there's currently an active wildfire in Flagler Estates just south of the county line. This is ongoing. That's why there's a red triangle right there. And there are resources on that fire. I'm unable to find out how big it is right now. Forestry Service has not released that information just yet. If you Google Florida wildfire map, you can find this. And the red ones are active where there's and not contained. The brown ones are contained. So we have 1, 2, 3 other contained fires, one up in Palm Coast that's pretty small. This one here was 24 acres. That one here, I'm not sure how big that one was, but that one was not really that big either. But that's the main one right now. This one is active at this point, and the wind is blowing it kind of off to the north and west because of the southeast wind. So there are crews out there actively combating that fire. So, again, if you Google Florida wildfire map, you can find this information and it gets updated live so you can stay on top of what's going on with these wildfires. Nothing threatening, the main populated areas of the county. There are a few residents out in this area here, and again, that would be a concern for anyone that lives out in that area because wildfires, especially with those stronger winds today, can be a problem. So why are we having the wildfires? Well, the drought index now is starting to climb. So we are now over 400. We're at 405. Just explaining how does the drought index, what does that mean? What does that mean for you? Well, 0 is at the bottom of the scale, and that tells us if it's 0, the ground is saturated. Kind of like, from after Hurricane Milton type saturated, something like that. And then 800 is desert dry. and that is like 98 wildfire material. That's where we were during 1998. See, southern Florida is in that position right now. I'm sure some of you have heard the reports of the wildfires in South Florida. Down here in SoFlo, it's cut off the roads to the Florida Keys on a couple of occasions. So they're having some serious issues down there. Up by us, we are not in deep trouble yet, but we are getting there. So I'm hoping that rain that we get will help knock some of this out. So really hope for that rain to be knocking that out there. And so, anyways, that's our fire danger. Let's talk about the ocean now. Surf 3 to 4 feet. Surf temperature 68 degrees. Watch out for the rip currents. Dangerous rip currents out there, especially if you got friends from out of town and they're not used to rip currents. Folks down here in spring break, that kind of thing. Please make sure that they are aware of the rip currents, how to get out of them. UV index also very high, so don't forget to wear that sunblock. So anyways, that's going to wrap things up. Again, if you just joined us, you can rewind it to watch the entire program. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate the support. Our next update will be Wednesday. We might do a special update tomorrow if the weather warrants it. We usually only do those if it's something real serious. But right now, our next planned update is Wednesday evening. We'll be taking a look at the weather the end of the week and into the upcoming weekend. Everybody out there, have a great day. And don't forget, it's April Fool's Day this Tuesday, so watch out. Everybody out there, have a great day. Be safe out there.